All right, here we go. Where are we? We're 14th.
Formation lab has started.
All right, here we go. Let me just say yes, anyways. This is it's 11 lap race, and you can get there on full tank, but you do have to save. I have to save. Last race I saved a little too much. But, I seen a couple guys run out in the last lap. They get stop and goes if they don't properly deal with their ratio. Virtual energy. Where's my pit button? Is that it? I didn't see it was split. We're probably one of the bottoms. Obviously one of the bottom splits. As soon as the hypercars zip into that left before the chicane, it'll turn green right around there. Pretty smooth. Probably as we go through this chicane. There it is.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh my gosh. What are you gonna do, dude? God, that was pathetic. Just clean. The car's not wrecked. What do you want me to do, man? Oh, this is so awful. That's why we play on the burner account, so there's nothing to lose here. We're just having fun. guess I got damage from bump drafting. Wow. Guess I won't do that again. We're in a really low split. Usually you don't see people wrecking into the mob. This is one of these tracks. It is. Very rare to see people wreck themselves. Straight up. Bunch of noobs. Like me. We gotta do this for a lot longer, so hopefully we can finish the race this time. I get bored in the last one and I quit. Oh, I'm about to do it again, I guess. Yeah. And one more little out of control thing and I'm gonna park it. I just don't have patience for that. The tire model now is a little different. It has a little more grip at the beginning, but they took more weight at the top. So they're turning it more into like an iRacing. So I can just go play iRacing. That's the case. The cool thing is here though, yeah, they don't have explosive deck code. It's the damage model that's excessive. So you can race here. You can wreck, hit stuff, and still race. So that it's a little more arcade-like, and that's where the fun is. That's why I'm here. iRacing, you wreck, you're done. You just have to park it. I'm not gonna pass you, dude. I have no business passing anyone. Maybe, I may limit my throttle. Make sure, because someone as dumb as me has to have some type of guardrails. Otherwise I'm gonna hurt myself. Our virtual energy is much lower than our petrol. I'm just gonna keep saving. The beauty of being dumb is you don't know you're dumb usually. So that's a little disadvantage I have. Son of a bitch. Did I get an off track? Leave the race, oh my god, they hammer you. They go for everything you have. All your SSR, all your IR, everything, whatever you call this game. This is crazy. You gotta finish races. I see people, they'll just park and sit in the pits. Man, if you leave. Phew. That's mine to cut, because if I get frustrated, I'll leave. There's just no reason to sit there and do laps forever. That was unfortunate to watch. That guy was just, you know, Wayne, just trying to be cool. Mark behind me, he just didn't get a stop. This guy, Michael Price, just went flying by. That was pretty funny. Oh god, I'm bored. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn on 2 or something here. Watch some TV. Some music on. Lo-fi girl in the house. What up, lo-fi girl? God, I'm bored. Fuck. Oh my god. One person ruined it for us all. I come back and seem to figure out. He was so far behind, but he came through and wrecked some GTPs. And now all of our races are shitter. Driving? I race just because I'm supposed to. It doesn't bring any satisfaction. I feel like trying that hard. Because the more I try, I could get competitive. Stupid shit will happen that I can't control, and I just get frustrated. It's kind of just like that. Seatbelt, don't try too hard, right? Got it. This is just really excellent.
You served on this elite polygraph unit for the Secret Service. You were trained to be a human lie detector.
They call them examiners. I was like, nope, don't want it. I didn't take a single criminal justice class. 0.
I mean, that right there proves that anybody can learn anything. As somebody's sitting there and you're going through a polygraph exam, you've got colleagues that are watching you. What are the list of things that you're assessing?
We'll do an example. Hi, Mel. I'm Evie. Good to meet you. Where are you from? Where were you born? What's your date of birth? As you're answering these, you're looking at me, you're nodding your head up and down. Okay, I got Mel's baseline. Tell me about what happened on the night of March 15th, 1998.
I'll tell you what, sitting here right now, I feel like I'm in an investigation and about to get my ass thrown in jail. Were you ever in a moment where you were truly tested?
I remember pulling my weapon out and actually pointing it at him, and it was close to his head, and I'm thinking, am I going to shoot this guy?
Did you shoot him? Hey, it's your friend Mel, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today so that you and I can spend some time together. It is always an honor to be able to be with you. And I just want to acknowledge you for choosing to listen to something today that could help you create a more meaningful life. And if you're a new listener, welcome to the Mel Robbins podcast family. I am so glad that you're here, and you're going to be glad that you tuned in to listen to this episode because you're going to be learning from a fascinating person today with such a unique life experience who has so much to teach you. Evie Pompouras is a former special agent with the U.S. Secret Service who has served during the presidential administrations of President Bill Clinton, President George W. Bush, and President Barack Obama. She has also served on the Secret Service details protecting former presidents George H.W. Bush and Gerald Ford. Her extensive and decorated career includes operating undercover, complex criminal investigations. She was an interrogator for the Secret Service's elite polygraph unit, which means she has been specifically trained in the art of lie detection, human behavior, and cognitive influence. She is also a best-selling author and professor of criminal justice. You might even recognize Evie, because when criminal cases grab the world's attention or breaking news makes us all wonder, who's telling the truth? Every single news network on the planet has Evie on speed dial to analyze body language and critical verbal cues that suspects, politicians, and celebrities are sending so that you can tell when someone's lying. It's a real honor to have Evie here because Evie has received the United States Secret Service Valor Award for actions as a first responder during the 9/11 terror attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City. And I am so excited and grateful that she has made the trip to our studios here in Boston to give you a master class from over 3 decades of decoding body language for some of the most elite law enforcement agencies in the United States. I am so glad that you're here.
Me too.
I have been admiring you from afar and online like a stalker that the Secret Service would take out. Now I'm so glad to be sitting here with you.
I'm very humble, very humble. Thank you for saying that.
Here's where I want to start. Could you tell the person that is listening to us right now, how does learning some of the skills that you're going to talk about, like knowing when somebody's lying to you or displaying confidence, how does that change your life?
All these things, confidence, reading people, it makes you steady, it makes you grounded. So I think that that's where a lot of this is going to lead people to. A lot of the stuff I share are things that were taught to me by very exceptional people that helped me on my path and still help me to this day.
You have a remarkable career. So when you were a little girl, were you like, I want to be in the Secret Service? How did you even get into this career?
No. Like, I was like, I get pulled over by cops. I'm like, who's this bozo? Literally in my head. I may have even verbalized it. No, didn't know anything about law enforcement. My family was not in it at all. I wish I could say, like, actually, I don't wish I could say. I know sometimes people have a plan. I never had a plan. I went to college like everybody else. I did, while I was in college, I interned for a congresswoman, Congresswoman Carolyn McCarthy. I remember her very well. And even that, like, I would have never thought I'd intern for a congresswoman. It was just like a bulletin board thing, and I sent my name in. And through that, I was really exposed to government. And I always had this kind of, I want to help people, I want to do right in the world. I think my compass has always been purpose. So, but honestly, completely just by mistake. Honestly, I was on the subway. I'm going downtown Manhattan to a job I got right out of college. It was underwriting for AIG. I don't know if they're still out there. If you are, I'm sorry. But not for me. I was in a cubicle sitting there and I'm thinking, like, I can't do this. And so the subway doors open literally. Maybe I'm on that job for several weeks, 2 months. Subway doors open, cops hanging out. Beer belly, because back then they had beer bellies. I see the guy, I'm like, I can do that. Literally. And so I go home that night to recruit. I call him like, hello, you guys hiring? No clue what I was doing. Zero. And I just went with it. One thing I've never been afraid to just go and figure it out. That's how my journey started. And from there I was like, oh, I can do FBI, DEA, CIA. I actually applied to all of them. Secret Service was the one who hired me first.
What I find fascinating about that story is that everybody who doesn't feel like they're in the right place in their life thinks that you're supposed to know what you want, and oftentimes I find it's just knowing what you don't want, and you knew, I don't want to be in that cubicle. And I love the metaphor of the doors opening because I think your life can change like that.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that. With the doors opening.
Yeah, and you walk through it. And I would imagine that what you would see over and over and over again, both in your training for the Secret Service and as you were an agent working on some of these elite units in the Secret Service, that things do change in an instant, which is why it is so important to take everything that you're about to teach us today to heart. What are some of the big takeaways that you have that are important when it comes to the way that a U.S. president or somebody at that level of success and power thinks and acts?
So I was very lucky because, I was around
we're halfway.
3 current sitting presidents, because I started when Clinton was actually still president. But then you're also around the former presidents, so you get like kind of dished out to help with those. And then also foreign heads of state. So when foreign heads of state come to the U.S., you're around them. So if you think about it, you're going to school in a sense. Like, you don't realize it, but you're actually learning, because you're learning theory, right? You become what you're around. And so as I was around them, like, you would watch the way they would move, the way they would deal with problems, the way they would deal with people. I think probably the most remarkable thing I would see is, you'd be with the president, whichever one it would be, and we'd be literally in the White House, and they'd have screens in different areas, and you'd be standing there, and he'd be right there, and there'd be a screen up and of the news, and like they'd just be destroying him. He's an idiot. He's this. He's that. Right? Whichever channel it was, depending on whatever president was, because it changed. And he'd be right there. And most human beings, most of us would be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're saying this about me. I can't get out of bed." And that could not fly. So I really learned resilience, and I learned not to take things personally. Absolutely. I think that's probably the best gift. I think people today, and a lot of times when people approach me, they're like, they'll tell me stories, and it's not to invalidate what they say, like they really go through it. And I'm like, everything can't penetrate your soul. Like, it just can't, and I learned to kind of have like, to understand what mental armor is, and to understand what you can and can't allow in, and then also understand the dynamics of some situations. So resilience is key. I never saw a U.S. president, me personally, like lose it, break down, get into the fetal position. None of it. Like, they always held their grace. And so I learned, the second thing I learned is to lose well. Like, have class when you're losing. Have class. And then I also learned less is more. Like, listen. Pay attention. The other thing I also learned is ask, and maybe I learned this from the Secret Service too, but ask for help. Like, the president is not expected to know everything. And I think we think I have to know everything, because if I don't know everything, then I'm not smart, I'm not confident, so people see through me, yada yada. And what I learned is they're very good at delegating. I don't know everything, but you are the Secretary of Defense, so you tell me how many men I need and what, weapons we should be sending. You're the Secretary of Treasury, then you advise me on the currency, inflation, and all that. So I also learned that. I learned that I didn't have to know everything. But I learned that you have to be a good manager and delegate. And ask for help. Like, it's not a weakness.
I personally just imagine what life as a Secret Service agent must be like. And I'm sure as you're listening to Evie, you're also like kind of conjuring up these images. It sounds extraordinarily stressful. How do you manage your stress? Because I would imagine that you're kind of in a constant state of stress when you're in this kind of high pressure job.
Are there scary situations? Sure, but you prepare so much to put yourself in these situations, but you also make peace. Like, there's an understanding that something could go wrong today, something could happen. Anytime you got into the follow-up, which is the vehicle that was behind the president's limo, and you would armor up and you would have your weapons, I think that those were very vulnerable situations where somebody could attack the motorcade. So the motorcade, whenever it was in movement, that was like where it's the most vulnerable. So anytime you're moving, you're the most vulnerable. So I think those points were kind of like, you have those moments where you're like, all right, everything's okay. And I mean, whenever something was wheels up, meaning your protecting was up in the air, you were kind of like, okay, he didn't die on my watch, because there was always that psychological thing. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to make the wrong mistake. I don't want to make the wrong call and then have somebody else's life on my shoulders.
Did you have any techniques that you used? You're sitting in the follow car, you're armored up, you got your weapons in your hands, you're like, this is my watch, don't let anything happen, don't let anything happen, don't let it. Because I would imagine you would just be on high alert the entire time, ready to go. How the hell did you keep yourself calm and centered when you're in that situation?
Because I'm in a truck with dudes who make terrible jokes. Like, they just make the dumbest, stupid jokes. Like, hey, Papadopoulos. Like, you couldn't even say my last name. I'll make it Pompous. Yeah, whatever. We would laugh. You had to laugh. Everything can't be so heavy. If it's heavy, like, you're just not gonna make it. So, I mean, they would make terrible jokes. I'm not fucking funny at all now. So I would listen to them, and if I tried to say something, shut up, Papadopoulos, make sure like we don't get shot at or whatever. So I was around people who carried themselves well, and so I carried myself well. I learned from that. They're steady, I'm steady. It's humor and lightness to create the calm and ground. At the same time, I'm looking. And then there were times where you couldn't joke around, where you were in a movement or something, and you really just had to be present. And I think maybe that job and certain intense activities we do, when you're fully present, you don't have time for your mind to wander. Sometimes afterward, you're like, man, that was heavy. But in that moment, like, you find your ways. But also, Mel, they put you in really bad situations in training. Like, they don't just like put you out in the world, hey, let's see how she's gonna do. They really try to stress you out in training repeatedly to see how you're going to react. And even then, you don't know how somebody's going to perform in a real life situation.
All right, 12 minutes
There's
to go.
times like the person you would expect to just fly through something completely falls apart, and then someone else
says we only have 4 laps.
Massive.
Plenty of petrol.
Holds her ground. So
I guess my ratio
you don't
was wrong.
know
I don't
what people are made of until they're truly tested.
Were you ever in a moment where you were truly tested?
I remember once we were arresting this guy. It was one of my first ones. I think it was the first time I ever pulled out my weapon. That was stressful. We were fighting with him. We were trying to arrest him. My partner's trying to put cuffs on him. He's fighting with us. We're wrestling. And then I remember pulling my weapon out and actually pointing it at him. And it was close to his head. And I'm thinking, like, gonna shoot this guy? That's not a. I think that's probably like the worst feeling, because although you're trained to do something like that,
Prototypes coming.
you're still looking at another
Yeah,
person and
nice.
saying like, once I do this, am I going to be okay? So I think things like that will really hurt.
Did you shoot him?
No. You know what? I never had to shoot anybody. I was very lucky. In fact, I remember going to the police academy when I was in the NYPD. Sergeant Corrigan, who taught us police science, he got up there and he said, if you never have to discharge your weapon, by my account, you had a great career. Because it's not about force. Anytime you force somebody to do something, you can win in the short term, but in the long term, you always lose.
I think that's true in
Everywhere.
life and everywhere.
Everywhere.
I would love to learn more about how you were trained to be a human lie detector. You served on this elite polygraph unit for the Secret Service, and you went through training to truly understand whether or not somebody is lying, to pick up on body language, behavioral clues. Can you tell us a little bit about the training and how and what you learned in terms of detecting whether or not people are lying?
Yes. Well, I didn't want to do it because in the service there was only like 30, they call them examiners. And it was a massive load because they went to you when they had really hard cases, so the responsibility was heavy. And so not only are you doing the polygraph and interviewing, then they're all watching physical class. And you're thinking, man, what if I don't get anything? What if I don't deliver? So I was
Sounds like a
nope,
Valkyrie.
Nope,
Yeah,
don't
baby.
want it. And I truly thought, nobody would talk to me. I thought I would not be good at it. And I remember like I think it was called the bid, where it's like, positions open, put in your name. And it was open for 2 weeks. And I waited till like 15 or 30 minutes before it closed on a Friday, like 4:45 p.m. before I put my name in. And for sure, I was like, I'm never getting this. And when I got it, I remember having like squeeze me? Like, me? Because there were guys with military experience, more senior people who put in and they didn't get it. And so I was really surprised when I got it because it's just a load. But when you go through that, the selection process, then they send you to, it's called the Department of Defense Polygraph Institute. It's a military facility, actually. It's a Fort Jackson. I know they changed the name now. They call it NACA. But you're there and you go through schooling, biology, psychology, like graduate level courses. And you'll do biology in a week and a half, and you have to take a midterm and final. It was intense. I remember when I first went, I thought, they're like, here, read this textbook in biology, and then next week we have a test on it. And I was like, these dudes are lying. It's gonna be open book for sure. There's no way they expect me to memorize this textbook. And then sure as shit, I go in the next week, and I'm like, this is not open book? No, what did you think you were doing here? So that part was hard. We had pharmacists coming in to teach us, which I thought was really cool, because when people, especially when people are under the influence of drugs, which a lot of the people I would have to interview would be, they were not always, sound, mind and body, because of the element of like, crime and whatnot. So I had to learn what drugs did what things to people. And so I became like this, expert in pharmaceutical drugs. So that was pretty amazing. And then they teach you the body, they teach you language, they teach you verbal language, they teach you also how to, I don't want to say confront, but how to deal with lies, how to confront someone, how to deal with people who disrespect you in the room. I also learned too, because sometimes you deal with people who have been through trauma, and sometimes you would have to, they would call it like you would have to open up that scar, get what you need. But then it was also your responsibility to close that scar before they had left the room. So there's just so many elements with that. And then the service also wanted me, they encouraged me to get my master's in psychology, forensic psychology as well. So I think all those things together help me understand people and human behavior.
So before we get into the strategies and tactics, can you explain why does body language matter when it comes to whether or not somebody is lying to you?
Look, it does and it doesn't. The research goes back and forth. A lot of researchers will be like, body language is BS when it comes to detecting deception. It's true and it's not true. here's what I know. People give off cues,
Okay.
right? So I'm hanging out with you, like we met before. I'm paying attention to Mel, how she walks, how she hugs me, like you hugged me. Your base. So I get like a baseline on you, right? I start to in the few minutes I get to know Mel, I get her baseline.
And what are you looking for when you're assessing a baseline? Because anybody could use this. You could use this on a first date. You could use this in
You
a
should use
business
this
meeting.
everywhere.
Okay, great. So let's start with a scenario where you're walking in and you're about to meet somebody, and I want to just get a baseline. What are the data points I'm kind of looking for if I want to size
6
somebody up?
minutes.
Okay, so
2 hours.
I'm not sizing you up. So, but I'm gonna use Mel because Mel, we're using Mel. So when I walk in, Mel immediately you come over.
Yep.
You're open, right? So you're open. You weren't holding anything in your arms. You didn't have your arms
sounds so
crossed.
close.
You were very open and welcoming. So immediately you see me. You didn't even. You know what else you didn't do? You didn't try to be busy in a corner somewhere and let your peers come over to greet me first. Like Emily met me at the elevators, but that was it. As soon as I walked in, actually, you came right away. Evie. So it's not like your team started handling me. So to me right away, I'm like, she's very comfortable. She's very confident. She's very warm and welcoming. Immediately, I'm like, I like her. So, but you feel people, do you not? Do you not feel people's vibration too, like the essence of what they give off?
I think that's 100% right. And what's interesting about you reflecting back on just that literally 10 seconds was that today I'm exhausted. We've been hosting my parents. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm more tired than normal. I was up late talking to my daughter in Los Angeles, who's going through like a really rough thing right now. And so I am happy to hear that I just instinctually walked over to you, and that the experience for you was that I was open, I was warm, because I know that's who I am, but I didn't think about how I would greet you. And so it's interesting to hear how many data points you had in that short interaction. And also, it is true. I think we walk in and you feel the energy of someone, and if it's warm and inviting, you're immediately at ease. But if somebody is a little stiff or crossed arms or formal or tense, then you start to go, oh my God, something's wrong. You know, like I think we reflect it back on
Right.
ourselves versus...
What's wrong with me?
Yes.
Right.
So
And
what should we do instead?
I think quiet and just absorb. So here, you're going to absorb people. Now, I'm not talking about empathy where you take everybody's stuff on and then you feel like garbage later. That's not what I'm talking about. But when I say absorb, I mean feel people's energy. People give stuff off. It's a real thing. It's a legit thing. Feel it, number one. The two is body language. So your body language, you're open. Your arms were open. They were out. They weren't in your pockets. Your body language communicated what your words communicated. They were in harmony. So what you said to me, Evie, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. That mirrored what your body did. So right in that moment, I'm like, it's all genuine. It's not a formality. I'm not another guest like, hey, okay, all right, get her in there. And you immediately stepped forward where maybe your team could have taken me, brought me in here, and you could have made your entrance. Evie, hi, I'm Mel. How are you? Some people do that.
Right.
You did none of that.
So when somebody gives you either weird energy or they are kind of open, but body language is off and you're reading something's off, pay attention to it.
First, don't make it about you.
Okay.
Because that's when we're like, they don't like me, they don't this, they don't that. And that's where you start going down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
And then that's like, it's good to be maybe self-reflective, but not so self-focused. Because then we start to make everything about us. And sometimes, most of the time, nothing to do with us. So allow people to be and look at them, listen to them. How are you today? You can ask like simple questions. Tell me about your morning. How's everything going, Mel? And then people can reveal slowly, you know what, I really had a tough morning, or oh, this is going on, I was up late. And then now you know what's going on with that person. So we wanna see if people are off harmony, meaning what you're saying and what you're showing me with your body, and then also what I feel from you is not in harmony. I just have to pay attention. And we don't call people out, ever.
Like, I mean, as in, that's a rule. Don't call somebody out.
Like, hey, you see, I just want to be careful because sometimes we think, like, I know all this body language stuff, right?
Right.
And I'm going to call everybody out and be like, oh, you just did this, or you said this, and I know when you say this or when you look away, you just looked away, and that must mean it's like those cues are there for you to gather information, not for you to kind of reflect back to someone and be like, let me show you how much I'm paying attention to you and how smart I am. So despite me having this background, I never tell people what I see. I told you because you asked me. But I don't tell people. You want to make people feel uncomfortable? Tell them. You want to make people feel like you're analyzing them? Tell them. You want to make people feel that you think you're better than them? Tell them. You don't need to do that. It's for you to understand the people around you and who you're dealing with so you can make smarter decisions with people. That's what this is for. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And what I'm gathering so far is that there is all this power in settling yourself and observing, and in letting people show you and not reacting. And you said something really important. You're meeting somebody for the first time. You're in a situation where you're on a date, where you're meeting your significant other's parents for the first time, or you're going on an interview or whatever. You're pitching a client, interviewing a babysitter. The baseline and just giving yourself permission to observe, to get data and not read anything weird as if it has to do with you is a power move. And I think a big mistake a lot of us make is that when somebody else is off, we let it make us get off. And what you're saying is absolutely not. Just observe, keep being in the mode, pretend you're like, it's almost like, because I think about a Secret Service agent, and I think about dark suit, sunglasses, in the corner, seeing, maybe, definitely not her. And so there's a cool confidence that comes from doing this in your life. Are there any cues, though, that for you over the years became kind of a telltale? Like, that something with people's eyes. I had always heard, for example, that if people look away, they're lying to you, which of course made me go, wait a minute. I have ADHD. A lot of times I will look away, gather my thoughts, come back. I also think it can be really disarming for people if you're staring right at them like a prosecutor or an attorney on, that's cross-examining somebody. But are there telltale signs with the eyes?
So that sounds like such BS, the whole eye thing. It's like, I know, like it's a marketing thing. Think of it this way, like how can everybody do the same exact thing with their eyes? Like if we're preaching diversity and we're all so different and we're all so unique, then how on earth, is everybody going to behave the same way? So here's the thing with eye contact. How a person does eye contact depends on that person. I could have grown up shy. Could have grown up being told I was stupid. I could have been, have grown up being hit a lot. So how I'm going to look at someone is going to be kind of a marker of everything I've experienced in my life. That's why that doesn't make sense. I could have ADHD or autism. There could be so many reasons. So the thing with eye contact is there's two parts. One part is when you're looking at people, let people be. Like, sometimes you ever have a serious conversation maybe with your kids and you're trying to talk to them and they're doing this on you. And you're like, look at me when I talk to you. You want to try to refrain from doing that because that's just them releasing stress, releasing energy. You're also getting a really good baseline on what they do when they're stressed out.
Oh.
Yes. Now, when you want to teach them, hey, when you talk to people, I want you to have good eye contact because it conveys trust, it conveys authority. That's different. So we're talking two different lanes. One lane is reading people. Just let people be. Don't correct them. Let them go where they're going to go. They'll show you. So before you asked me a question before we started, what did you ask me, Mel? You asked me, what am I excited about, right?
Yeah.
And I had nothing.
I was going to hope to get an exit
when I
here.
looked down.
Passes, dude.
You know what I was
now
doing?
I can't.
I was searching my mental Rolodex.
That was just bad timing.
And I'm like,
How's our gas?
But I had to break eye contact to do that so I could really go into my head.
God,
I'm not about to lie to you. That's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's reading people.
Right.
Now, eye contact when it comes to you, right? Right now, I'm your guest. So even though I would presume that maybe eye contact is hard for you, but you're like, Evie's my guest. I want her to know I'm here and I'm present, so I'm going to do everything I can to keep eye contact because it shows I value her. It shows I'm here, that I'm present. That's separate. And so eye contact for you as an individual, like if you're going out there for an interview or a meeting and you're really trying to build trust, eye contact hands down builds trust. It's just we're wired that way. If you're looking at me, it means that I can trust you. Right? So those
It's
are two
always
things. Reading
the damn
people, we leave them
hypercars
alone,
that
but
just
we
went
pay
out,
attention
never
to what they
just
do.
read.
So now you know, every time I ask Evie a question where she has to think about something, it's likely she's going to do what? Break eye contact and she's searching her mental Rolodex. That's just what she does.
Yep.
But when it comes to how I show up, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be present, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to show you, Mel, you matter to me, Mel, you can trust me, because I'm going to look at you. And it's also a great way to show respect to people.
On the topic of reading something, what are the list of things that you're assessing?
It's such a hard thing to answer. So look, there's body language
Right.
overall. Just look at what they're doing with their
Two
body.
stop and goes in front of us.
Simple things.
Go, buddy.
Even how
Make it a
when
top
they're
5.
talking to you, are they frontally aligned? So we're frontally aligned right now.
Meaning
which is-
we're like squared off against each
Yes,
other.
yes.
Okay.
Frontally aligned, shoulder to shoulder. That's a good way when you talk to someone to have that. You don't want to talk to people like this, like that, on our phone.
Which basically signals I'm either not interested or I'm nervous or I'm thinking about something else, right?
It's just when it matters to you, when those conversations matter, you really want to be deliberate with your body language. You want to show with your body to people what you're saying. That those things need to be in harmony. And for me, I really don't care what people say. I look at what they do. And so that's the other follow-up. That's actions. That's separate. But with the body, you want to have, if it's you're reading people, you just want to look at what they do with their body. You get their baseline. You can get somebody's baseline in just a couple of minutes, right? You can see, do they like to have their arms crossed? If I could stand all day long with my arms crossed, I would. That's like I'm comfortable. But I don't do it because psychologically I understand it gives off the wrong energy vibe.
Yeah, and as you're talking, I just want, what's interesting is that you have this ability to both go, okay, as I'm observing someone else, these are the things I look for to get a baseline and assess what kind of person this is, what is the energy, what is their emotion, is this somebody whose energy is trustworthy, is
let's
it
see.
not, are they sketchy, like what's going on with
We're gonna
that
finish.
person?
Yes.
And
Third
the
place.
same
Yeah.
exact things that would signal, I don't know if I can trust this person.
They're
Are-
doing the same thing to you.
Yes, and also are the same things that you should not be doing
Oh,
if
that's
you want to display
hilarious.
confidence.
All right.
Yes.
So it's
Third
like
place.
almost sort
What
of
do I
common
do
sense.
to-
Like if somebody's not looking you in the eye or their body is pointed
Observer.
toward the door as you're trying to have a serious conversation,
That's called a fleeing position, by
That's
the way.
awesome.
that's called a who?
I never
Fleeing
even
position.
passed the
So
car.
fleeing
when you're
position.
speaking to someone
Uh-huh.
and they're leaning. So right now
I
the
went all
door's
way
here to my
20th.
left.
That's
Yes.
just a well-managed
You're doing the
race.
interview, Mel, and I'm like this
Let's wait
the
and
whole
see our
time, and I'm
results.
just like
We
sitting
probably
at the
still
edge
didn't
like
gain
this.
anything.
Mel, you know, I'm like Evie doesn't want to be here.
LMU math.
It's called a fleeing position. When I would interview suspects, a lot of them would sit in the fleeing position because they just wanted to leave. Like their body literally was showing me,
What's up, baby?
I don't want to be
Is it
here.
me or
That's fleeing position.
Well, if you've ever talked to a kid and they're in trouble and you're sitting at the island in the kitchen,
Fleeing position.
fleeing position.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it's
I'll come back to this. This may take up to 2 minutes. Oh yeah, the race isn't going to be done. I'll go ahead and turn it off. But that was fun. Cheers.